I like to say shalom, family. Let's see if we can well, okay. Well, we're gonna come and put this video on here anyway. As most of you know, Facebook has destroyed the previous Facebook page, and we know what it's all about. It's all about numbers with them. And so when you get 5,000 friends and you're saying something that had a capacity to reach 10, 15,000 people at a time, that ain't gonna be tolerated. So they completely wiped the whole page out, and even now as I go on there, even though I got to make the video, I'm not seeing nowhere to invite no friends. So I've invited some friends, but I don't. It's saying that I don't have no friends to invite. So I'm gonna put the video on there, and then I guess that I would just share it and say shalom to whoever is watching. And I want to take a look at something that's pretty important. Got a couple of scriptures wrote down so that we can learn how to fight. And what I'm going to do, I am not all the way familiar with this dang on phone yet, so I'm just gonna come on right here. Today I want to look at something that we've been dealing with. We can deal with the loss of one of our brothers who got gunned down in cold blood. And our people have a habit of operating the wrong way. Never mind the fact that everybody is reading the scriptures. Everybody has a Bible. Everybody say that they believe. However, there is no evidence of that when people are put to the test. So even dealing with the news that we got on today, we understand that there will be no charges filed as our brother was gunned down in cold blood, but we're not shaken by that, because we know in this kingdom ain't gonna be no justice for our people. That's just out the question. There ain't gonna be no justice for our people, and unless we come to understand that the only justice that we're gonna have in this kingdom is that comes as a result of us crying out to the Father. So what I want to do is I want to take a look at a couple of scriptures, because the same thing that this family has faced within these last couple of weeks, before we can get them in the ground, it's going to happen to somebody else. And so if we all collectively come together and learn how to war in the spirit, then the Father will move on our behalf. So let's start right here. Let's start with Hosea 4th chapter, 5th verse. Let's go over and start with this here. Let's go to the book of Hosea. Let's go to the book of Hosea. Let's go to Hosea, 4th chapter. No, I don't want to deal with that first. Okay, yeah. That's Hosea 4 and 5. It says, 4 and 6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou should be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I also will forget your children. He said one of the main reasons that we are being destroyed is because we lack knowledge. Knowledge of what? We lack knowledge of the Father's process, the way that he does things where his people are concerned. And so, if we know that the only person that will assume responsibility for his children is the Father, then it don't make sense to go to authorities and the rulers and the princes of this earth expecting some type of justice. But the Most High said, well, as long as you do that, then you are going to be destroyed, because I am trying to get you to understand that I am the only source of help that you have. The only source that you have. And there is no other source of help. And so you're being destroyed because we keep forgetting these things even though we read in the scriptures. When the Father sent the test or the situation to build faith in us by showing us that he knows what's going on and that he will rise up and help us. But we always run looking for some other way or some other method to get it done. He said, well, I'm going to continue to allow you to be destroyed. Now, let's look at some of the knowledge that we seem to be lacking. Let's go over to the book of Hebrews. Let's skip over here to the book of Hebrews. Let's go to the book of Hebrews and see. That's Hebrews 9th chapter. Let's listen at this here. As it relates to some of the treacherous things that's happening to our people in this day, and they're going to continue to happen to our people. But the thing is that when we understand and we have the Father's knowledge, then we know how to get breakthroughs, because we understand we must go to him, take our cares to him, and everybody had to be on the same page. Everybody had to be understanding the same thing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at Hebrews chapter 9, verse 27. And it reads, and as it is appointed to man once to die, after this is judgment. Okay, this is the Father's knowledge. I don't care what kind of situation comes or what happened. I don't care what kind of method the Father choose to remove one of his own from this earth. You must understand so that you don't get sidetracked and take your eyes off of him and start looking at authorities and people as it relates to injustice. He said, understand this. It is appointed to a man once to die, and then after this is judgment. A man has to be brought into judgment so that he can receive wrath or reward. All men that fall in righteousness go to judgment, and they cease from labor, and they go to their reward. And so when a righteous one is removed from the earth, we don't jump in our flesh because we are looking at the method to which the Father removed them from the earth. We rejoice because one has ceased from his righteous labor in this earth and now is gone to reward. And so the word appointed is coming from the word appointment. And to have an appointment is to have a set date, a specific date and a specific time for a specific event. If you need to go to the doctor, then you have to first make an appointment. Not only do you make the appointment for a specific day, you make the appointment for a specific time. And that is your designated time to see the doctor. And the doctor is not surprised or shocked when you show up. As a matter of fact, he expects you to show up at this particular time and date because it is the time that has been appointed for this specific thing. Well, it's the same where judgment is concerned. He said, where judgment is concerned, you have an appointment date. You have a specific time and a specific date to be translated from this earth into the presence of the Most High, so that you can be judged, or you can, if you're righteous, you have an appointed time to receive all the promises and the blessings that the Most High promised us while we were walking by faith in this earth. And then even for the wicked, there is an appointed time for the wicked to receive his wrath. And so these things are what the book says we perish from not understanding. That nobody does anything without the hand of the Most High being involved. And so why are we saying this? Because we want our brothers and sisters to understand that if you feel sour because of somebody committing a crime against you, when you have the Father's knowledge, you can go to the Father, and the Father will do what he said he would do. He would bring wrath or judgment upon the heads of those enemies that have dealt treacherously with his people. But when we operate with apart from the knowledge of the Most High, we tie the Father's hands, and he have to continuously allow us to be destroyed for the sake of us coming to understand these simple principles, because he wants us to cry out to him, not the police, not the authorities, not the governor, not the FBI, not none of those, because all of those things have been put on us for this one reason, to bring us to this point. And so our brothers that's falling out here today and our brothers that's falling out here tomorrow, they're not just simply falling because people are destroying them like that. They are falling because it's their appointed time. They have an appointment with the Most High. All of us have an appointment with the Most High. And the difference between the appointments that we make in this world and the appointment that the Most High have set for us is that you can call the doctor's office and you can change or reschedule your appointment date or your appointment time. But you can't change that. And see, the thing is that we know what the appointed days and the appointed time is in this life. You understand what I'm saying? So if I got a toothache and I already made my appointment, but when my appointment date get close, my tooth ain't bothering me no more, and now I don't want nobody to start messing with it, I can go in there and change the appointment. But you're not going to change the appointment with the Father, because he don't give you the specific time nor the specific date. Those things remain with him and remain with him only. But when we understand is that it's by his appointed time that we are removed out of this life. And if we're removed out of this life and the system or the method was wicked that happened, then he give us a specific way how to go about dealing with that, because he said, I will avenge you. Vengeance is mine. I will repay. But I'm going to repay them based on whether or not you are getting the message and you are getting the understanding. You need to come to full senses that I am your only source of help. And if you look in any other direction, I'm going to fold my arms and I ain't going to do nothing. I'm going to just look at you like a fool, and then I'm going to send another tragedy your way simply because you ain't got the message yet. All right? So, we destroyed because we lack knowledge. And in this case, we're dealing with the death of our brother, because we know that when the vast majority of our people find out that no charges will be filed on this person that shot our brother down in cold blood, the first thing they won't want to do is jump in their flesh and get angry and get mad. But that's the time that you got to cleave to the Most High and get in the spirit. See, because you jump in your flesh, you can't go to the Father and ask him nothing. But I dare you to get in the spirit. I dare you to get in the spirit and collectively start coming together with your brothers and sisters and say, we're going to set up a set date and a set time. And at this hour of this particular day, we're going to go to the Father in prayer, in unison, touching and agreeing. And we're going to pray on behalf of the wickedness that was put out on our people. That's how you get the Father to move. The reason the Father ain't moving is because we don't understand how we supposed to be operating. First thing we want to do is run in the street and start raising all kind of fuss. Well, you can't get nothing like that. You make yourself an enemy of the Most High. So, let's look at some more truth. Let's look at some more truth. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. We're going to start reading at verse 4. Thus said the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not. Now, here's what we as a people have to understand. The Father said, I'm going to send you into the land of your enemies, and there you shall be sold. You're going to be sold to your enemies for male and female slaves. And ain't going to be no man to deliver you out of that servitude I put you in but me. He said, but these are the things that's going to happen to you. And so in Zechariah, it makes it clear by telling you, feed the flock of the slaughter. Who was the flock? The flock were them that were sold into the hands of their enemies. All right? He said, whose possessors slay them. See, anytime you are sold to somebody, you become their possession. He said, now the people that you were sold to, the people that possess you, they shall murder you and then declare themselves not guilty. Who can stand up against that? That's what the Father said what happened to his people. He said, those that possess you will slay you and then hold themselves not guilty. And our people have fallen asleep. We've been smited with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart because we seem to think that we have some type of rights in this wicked kingdom that we are in. But we don't. Because we came in here as a possession, and we will remain a possession to our enemies until the Most High come back. He said, and the evidence of that is that you're a possession is that when they go to kill you, they will declare themselves not guilty. Why? Because they are in their own kingdom. And because you are a possession, you are not on the level that they are on. They say within themselves, how can we be declared guilty for killing something that ain't a human being? I don't care what you think. In your enemies' minds and in their laws and in the things that they teach each other as they are brought up, you are not a person. You are a possession. And so you cannot declare nobody guilty for murdering a possession. In the Constitution, they wrote in their laws that you were only 3/5 of a human being. You were not even a real person. So how are you going to convict me of killing someone when that is not even a person? Well, that's their mindset. And that is what the Father said would happen. He said, and them that sell those people that were possessed, they shall say within themselves, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. Well, you know what? And they got a right to, because they have a God that they are serving too. And the God that they are serving is an enemy of the Most High, our power. And so their God causes them to be able to do or commit crimes against the righteous and then consider themselves blessed because they make money while doing it. They say, I am rich. And then it says, goes on and says is that, and their own shepherds pity them not. Well, what does that mean? That means that, you have people of our nation that are sitting in high places. People of our nation sitting in high places. Our would-be civil leaders and our would-be political figures and all of that. They don't have no pity for their own kind. Or you can say the shepherd or whoever was the one that was over the possession. They don't have no pity. The Bible said that they wouldn't show the old man no favor and they would have no mercy on the young man. And so the same way they beat the 90-year-old man to death, they would take the 2-year-old baby and toss him in the water so they can catch an alligator. This is what you're dealing with. You see, then when you start looking at it for what it really is, then you say to yourself, okay, I look like a stock raving fool to be going to these people looking for some type of justice. But that's the condition that we in. That's our plight. And it's funny because they say, well, they got the Bible now and they know that they're the children of Israel now. But you know what? They still don't know how to operate according to the will of the Most High. They still looking to us. They still coming to us. And as long as they coming to us, the Father not going to be with them. So, come to serve notice on you today. For that one, what's the scenario? Let's go to 2 Chronicles. Because, see, our people got to learn how to fight. And if we don't learn how to fight, we in trouble. Because there are far worse times coming down the pipeline. Far worse times are coming. Now, the Bible says that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty through God, through the pulling down of strongholds, the casting down of imaginations, and every high thing that exalts itself against the Father's knowledge, and bringing every thought into captivity up under the obedience of Hamashiach, the Christ. Now, if he said the weapons of your warfare are not carnal, what make you think that you can take your feet in your hands and run out there in the streets and wage war? It's be justified. He said, no, you're not fighting a physical fight. The weapons of your warfare are spiritual. And so our people have to learn how to quit being touched by the emotions and come out of the flesh and move into the spirit so that you can use the weapon that's at your disposal, which is the word of God. And casting down imaginations of wickedness and every high thing that exalts itself against God's knowledge has to be submitted to the will of Christ. All right? And that includes your flesh. That includes what you think ought to be done. See, that's an imagination. Soon as something happens, the first thing that comes is we start thinking about what it is that we want to do or what it is that we can do. But we got to learn how to cast those imaginations down and bring those things up under the obedience of Hamashiach, or the word of the Most High that gives us instruction. He said, when we do that, he said, you do that, now I'll rise up and I'll fight your battle for you. So, 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. Second Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. It says, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sins and I will heal their land. Turn from their wicked ways. What are our wicked ways? If my people who are called by my name, we understand that we are his people. We understand that we are called by his name. So this is talking to us, and it is giving us methodology in which how we are supposed to do things so that we can see the Father start moving on our behalf. He said, if we will humble ourselves first That means cast down the imaginations that come from my own thinking. Humble yourself. Pray. Then seek his face, which is his instruction, and turn from your wicked ways. What was our wicked ways? Hey, here's what our wicked ways is. How did we get in this situation? He said, because you provoke me to jealousy with that is not of God, I shall provoke you to wrath with them that are not a people. That was our wicked ways. That was our wicked ways. We started walking by the instruction of the gods of other nations. We start seeking other nations' counsel as to how we was going to conduct ourselves. We start looking to the other nations where our blessings and all of this was concerned. And the Father got angry and he got jealous. He said, and because you provoke me with that which is not a God, I'm going to provoke you to wrath with them that are not a people. So when he start talking about turning from your wicked ways, don't you know that every time you go to an authority in this earth, every time you reach for some entity in this earth, some man-made organization in this earth, you are perpetuating the same thing that our forefathers did that got us in this situation. You'll continuously provoke the Father with that has no power to help you out of your situation. And he said, well, I will continue to provoke you to wrath with them that are not a people. So we turn from our wicked ways. Stop going to other people. Stop looking to authorities. Humble ourselves. Collectively come together. Seek the Father's face, his instruction, and then pray. Cry out to him. This is the number one reason why Facebook wiped my whole page off. Wiped the whole page off. Because he said, they just what the devil said. If you know what, if 30,000 people can hear this message, and then they all at the same time humble themselves and start praying and start crying out, not only would the Father deal with the enemy that struck our brother down, but he will go past that and probably rip a tornado or something through the whole community, wiping out everything that is there. And our enemies sit back on the sideline and just laugh at us. Laugh at us while we arguing about the Bible, but don't know how to operate in the Father's instruction. You see? So, I wanted to come on here and put this on here. I don't know who can see it, but I never did start making videos based on numbers. I started right here where I'm at right now. And so the same way that the Most High increased the numbers then, he's going to increase the numbers again, because there is nobody that can thwart the purpose of the Most High. And when we came on there and start talking about unifying ourselves, and we seen a demonstration of all of Israel coming together, caring for one another, loving on one another, praying for one another, that stuff scares the daylight out of people. It scares the daylight out of your enemies. And so they say, well, we got to do something. We got to do something. We can't keep him off Facebook, but maybe we could just make it where only 1 or 2 people can hear the message. So I just wanted to say that, and I want to give a shout out to all my brothers and sisters out there, and just, you know, now ain't the time for playing. You got to get in this word. You got to pray for wisdom. You got to pray for understanding. And then you got to pray that the Father give you enduring power when he send a test your way to grow you up. When he want to add to you, he going to send a test so that you can by faith stand on the things that you've been learning. And you can't be quick to run away. And so all of our brothers and sisters that's in their flesh, you know, the book of Proverbs say, he that is soon angry dealeth foolishly. That means that when you're controlled by your emotions and you're a hot-headed, quick-tempered person, you're going to always make a foolish decision. Always make a foolish decision. So be mindful of that. Hallelujah.